There are three wrapped around themes that were my kind of hopes for small groups. So first is John Barzanich. Hopefully I said it right. So John is representing my hope that people at different seasons of their life could explore these topics of purpose and vision and find value in it. It was something I really had hoped for small groups. And so John had shared with me after church last Sunday, and I was like blessing my heart with how it had been helpful to him. So.
I feel I got a lot out of this program that we put in. It's like that you look at your past, and it was so nice. You know, it wasn't just something there and forgotten. You know, it's you look at what those things in your life did to where I'm at now, and it's like, because, you know, I'm a Reformed Catholic, okay, and nothing against Catholics. You know, it's a Christian-based religion, and it's like, but the things I was taught, I was going to hell quick, okay. So that's how I kind of was brought up. And then, as I went through my life, I found out that, I found God through another church, okay? And there I would go in and sweep and clean up and set up, and that church had disbanded. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, is this church that's looking for a place, and there I am setting up. So I found one of my values was I like to help people set up and get ready and service. And now it's like, where do I want to take my next step? And I know where it is. You know, it's in this church, and just like you was talking about, the ministries around the church help working around the premises here, because there's a lot that needs done. And it's like, but it's taking me to my retirement, just like it was said. I'm probably going to be busier than anything, okay? But serving, that's what I love to do, serve. And it was really a great experience to go through this, just to look at it. And I want to see the next, program that we're going to go through. And it's like, it really brings you closer to your family. You get to know people better. It was the few people in our group that we had, and it was like I got to know a lot. And there was a lot. God was speaking to me through them, and the Holy Spirit comes into you and it sees. I mean, you understand he's out there. And he's not only out there, he's in here. So when they talk, he's talking either through me or through them. And it was really a great experience. And I think that's about all.
No, that's perfect. Thank you so much, John. It was an encouragement to me. Appreciate you.
Well, and I want to give thanks too. John was mentioning retirement. And one of the things we mentioned in our small group, as you remember, we were talking about, as Christians, we're different than the world. And, for example, even with retirement, we don't just make plans just for ourselves. That's okay if you have plans to have a boat and have another place to go, a cabin, whatever, whatever things in retirement. But as Christians, we're asking that question, how can I be used of God? And I hear John asking that question, and that's something we're all supposed to do.
Right, and that was one of the beauties, is we really wanted this to be something that everybody in every season could just explore on their own and not feel like, oh, God's done with me yet. So I really appreciated his comments, and it was very encouraging to me. Next up is Ruth. So hers was representing for me somebody who knew a lot of people in the church already, but even for people who knew others, I wanted them to be able to go deeper or learn new things about each other. So when she had shared that with me, it was also just encouraging to know that hope for groups was also playing out in that way.
Well, hi, I'm Ruth, and I've only been coming to Living Word about under 3 years, I think. Mm-hmm. So I'm your Messianic Jewish representation here. I'm a Jew who believes in Jesus. So I brought a very different kind of experience to small groups. It's something I've done in the past, but this is the first time I've really been involved with something where I was really looking inward, and we really took that experience to look inward at ourselves. Where has God? What are you doing in your life, in your private life, in your work life, and how are you really trying to find God in those moments and seeing where our spiritual gifts were. So I'm going to give a shout out to Larry, because in Bible study, we just went through a lot of that and understanding trying to figure out what are our spiritual gifts, how do we use them, and God gives you more than one. And sometimes you're given a spiritual gift just for a certain time of your life, and then you move on to something else, and that's okay. And if you see something and you see a spiritual gift that you would like to personally have, it's okay to ask God to give you that. It doesn't guarantee He's going to, but it's okay to ask for those things and to find the best way to use your spiritual gifts in every aspect of your life, here at the congregation and in your private life, your work life. And for me personally, this really kind of put me on a journey to figure out, seeing where, even from before I was a believer, that God was directing me with giftings that I didn't even know I was using, and formulating that I've been using these giftings my entire life with the career choices I've always made, the way that I choose to serve, and the way I think. And I'm not 100% sure, I'm still praying on this, where I should be going. And it's okay to be stuck. If you're not 100% certain, like Joyce was saying earlier, the whole process was to really just make you think about what you're doing and the best way to serve God. And even before we saw the slides today, our group had decided that we're periodically going to get back together and kind of recheck in on each other, like as a group, whether it be a lunch or a dinner, just to make sure that we're still holding each other accountable for where we are and to help each other grow in that path.
Good. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Ruth. Yeah. So last but not least is Bob. So I had asked him to come, and I was, for my last hope, which there was many more, but these were kind of my key three, was I was hoping people who did not know each other before could develop a deeper connection of some sort. And I didn't know Bob or Laura before small groups, and I've just really enjoyed myself selfishly getting to know them and meeting them. So it was really a blessing having you. So I asked him to share.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, it was a really good experience. I'm really glad that we participated. Me and Laura both kind of had some of our moments. I let my guard down a little bit and shared a little bit more than I originally anticipated. But, you know, when it comes to the reminding text messages from Pastor Allen or this small group, I just, you know, I really like the reminders. I like the, you know, idea of positivity begetting more positivity. And, you know, one of the spiritual gifts that I wasn't surprised I had was craftsmanship. I'm trying to teach myself new woodworking hobbies and stuff like that. And just like, you know, with learning a new skill or learning a new language, you know, if you're trying to do that, you're talking with people about that skill, or you're using that language with other like-minded and people who speak that language. So your skills grow, you acquire more tools, and, you know, your vocabulary gets larger. And I think that that's a lot with God and our relationship with God. I have this little plaque that I've been carrying around with me. It's all dinged up. The frame's all messed up. Maybe I'll fix it once my skills get a little bit better. But it says, and I'm probably paraphrasing a little bit, but it says, take time for the quiet moments because the world is loud and God whispers. And it's just, you know, if we're not initiating those conversations, or if we're not actively listening for God to speak with us or through us, you know, there's so much that we'll miss and so much progress that we'll kind of shortchange ourselves from. So I really try to keep that at the forefront of my mind and participate in those conversations or in those moments and get closer to what my purpose is. And, you know, I was reminded of a lot of stuff that I used to think about when I was younger, when I was doing or what I wanted to do. And, you know, I reflected since group ended, and, you know, I'm getting a little closer to it. So it was just a really good experience, and I hope to participate in stuff moving forward. And I'm sure it'd be awesome for everybody involved if more people did. So thank you.
Thank you. Let's give them a hand.